everyone, the time is here. Let's take it to Innovation 2022.
Please welcome Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger.
Welcome all. Good morning, good evening. Shana Tova to all of our friends who are celebrating Rosh Hashanah, and our Israeli talent just play a huge role for Intel, and Mobileye and our team are spending the holiday with their family and friends. But to the rest of Team Intel, we are here and we're going to have a great event together now. And it's wonderful.
想逼死邊個？
What do you think?
究竟想逼死邊個？
In person in our backyard here in Silicon Valley. And a beautiful day today, so let's get started. And as the host of Innovation 2022, I have to affirm Intel's deep, unwavering commitment to an open ecosystem. And last year we said we'd innovate technologies in the open. We would offer you choice. We'd help drive industry-shaping standards, and as we said, we have to make them more secure. These platforms have to be things that you can trust in and build your platforms and businesses upon. And over the next 2 days, we're going to show you our progress, but also look into the future in these areas as well. And we have a ton of news for you today in hardware, software, chip design, security, new developer platforms, and everything the industry has to offer. We're going to geek out.
即係要邊個都唔知，
Right? Okay, all you geeks in the room,
我唔明
get it. Right?
想逼死邊個？好辛苦。點解而家又要變？恨 Expo 同 DOCP 有咩影響？其實嗱，首先個名啦，名稱上係話俾佢聽，你係咪一個 AMD certified 咗嘅 profile 啦 ？DOCP 其實都唔係問題嘅，問題係究竟華碩有冇試過，即係佢哋內部有冇試過嗰 pack 嘅 RAM 係唔係可以咁嘅啫？咁如果嗰 pack RAM 係可以咁嘅話咧，其實原則上佢沒有 AMD Expo 都冇乜所謂嘅 ，but 會有風險，佢有問題咯。喺我角度只係現一個 new nightmare 啫，仆街，快撚啲啦，大佬，我想瞓覺啊！屌你知俾我知我今晚有多一場直播，一定唔拍停車場咯！屌，而家同拍街抄半張冇分別。仆街燒撚死飽包，唉，黐線㗎！ Our ability to push forward with innovation, discovery, and this is driven by what I like to call the superpowers, these foundational technologies that are profoundly shaping how we experience the world, and it creates this bridge from the analog, from the physical to the digital world. It enables us to simulate, to create the digital twin of everything that we do. One of those, compute, and since the 4004 we've just been pushing compute into everything. Connectivity, everyone and everything is becoming connected. Infrastructure with unlimited scale of cloud, but increasingly with 唔得喎，睇個 delay 字幕，不如唔好睇。With edge, unlimited reach for capacity as well as low latency and bandwidth. And唉，強制加班，人哋加班台有道理，疏唔使啊！大家唔使特登俾我，講笑。唉，佢話咩啊？12:20先至可以公佈價錢啊嘛！嗱，我哋唔講價錢，千祈唔好講價錢。我哋唔好講價錢。We see objects and even be able to see things that you can't see, right? Hear things, know exactly where you are, and increasingly be able to feel, taste, right? All of our senses. And I want an augmented reality where all of my senses become
digitally enhanced as well. And even my infirmities, like here's my hearing aid, yeah, I'm part of our family, right? We lose our hearing, but now, what did she say again?
大篇我要字幕，我明啊，加完字幕又 delay 咁，我都聽唔掂佢講嘢啦，仲衰，唔加唔要。等先，大篇話要，咁冇辦法。
One of these 5 powerfully, individually, just changing. But as you think about it, more sensing means more compute means more connectivity, more infrastructure, more data over that infrastructure, more AI, which leads to more use cases. Right there, reinforcing, accelerating, empowering each other to unlock even more powerful possibilities in the future.
唉，又要一路買餸，一路睇直播。
我
講粗口先，Z790有1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13、14、15款爸爸牌。咁個價錢相當之貴，其實。但係你問我咧，對比翻 AMD 嘅價錢咧？嗱，問心唔太大分別，其實唔太大分別。
Is Moore's law dead? And the answer is no. And with advances in transistors, with ribbon FET, advances in power delivery with PowerVia, right? With breakthroughs in lithography, with high INA lithography, the core of semiconductor manufacturing.
我想講粗口，唔知大家接唔接受到？
We aspire from today about 100 billion transistors.
即係老豆講句，
By the end of the decade, a trillion transistors.
即係我覺得摩爾定律呢一壇嘢咧，其實咧就咧。嗱，老王就話已經搞唔到啦，好明顯。但係我想講，摩爾定律失效，某程度上 Intel 嘅發展都有推動唔少嘅喎呢壇嘢。講完，唔好講太多粗口啦，唉，真係講少少算。陪你阿摩轉圈蝦冇共你傻。
We will not rest until the periodic table is exhausted. We will continue to be the stewards of Moore's law into the future. You got it?
Got it.
Alive and well.
Oh yeah. 收皮啦 ，live。
Foundry, you got to be a great way for Foundry, and we're going to continue to work to grow that semiconductor demand, build more capacity, work with our customers as a foundry, and we've announced our intention to acquire Tower Semiconductor, combined with IFS. We will have a global diverse end-to-end and one of the richest portfolios.
仲有10分鐘多少少咧，就可以預訂 Z790 底版。Z790嘅 NDA end day 咧係10月20號嘅9點鐘，但係其實咧我冇簽到 Intel NDA 嘅。咁啊，
First, you got to be a great wafer foundry. We're not debating that. You got to be good at that. But second, right? It has to be great at packaging. And even
唔係喎，我覺得佢講嘢易聽過老王講喎。
Foresaw this day of reckoning where we'll need to build larger systems out of smaller functions, combining heterogeneous and customized solutions.
即係對比之下 A level 嗰啲好明顯再誇張啲啊，但係呢個 level 我聽得到喎。
Third, software. And as you're going to hear from Greg tomorrow,
Z790 Strix D4 幾錢啊？咁 Strix D4 即係 A 啦 ，A 係井錢開括號。
Open source software stack, the key software components that unleash the different chiplets, accelerators, and abstraction.
平過塊 X670 13代會唔會好似11代咁樣又係過渡產品啊？哇 ！This problem 我真係唔敢講，但係個成數都頗大，貴咗600蚊，比而家嗰塊係啊！我會考英文唔係攞 F 啊，我高考英文拎 F 啫嘛，我炒咗份 practical skills 啊嘛，跟住第2年考翻咪合格翻，傻。 我都唔想，柒撚到咁，我都唔係幾好意思。
And once again, we're going to lead an ecosystem to create the standardization of a chiplet architecture, and we call it the Universal Chiplet Interconnect Ecosystem, or UCIe. And we already have more than 80 companies who are participating in this creation of this open chiplet environment. And you can imagine something like this. Hey, I'm getting a few of my chiplets from Intel. But, hey, I have a few of these pieces that I've also developed on TSMC. And,
其實發Z790 Extreme 就有啲恐怖嘅，個價錢係升開闊好。但係仲未講有冇水冷版，即係如果有水冷版嘅話，有冇分 A、B 加有啦？
And let's just hear from a few other voices that are joining with us in this vision.
At TSMC, our goal is to provide an open silicon platform to unleash customers' innovation. That's why TSMC fully supports moving the UCIe ecosystem forward.
The future is chiplets. This is why Samsung supports the UCIe goal to establish an ecosystem of chiplets that will drive the next era of heterogeneous computing.
ERROR 嘛 ，error 係嘛？
So with Intel, Samsung, and TSMC, you've just heard the three largest
先難，其實係嘅。
manufacturing companies.
Oral 好強調要你好曬到你嘅詞彙或者用字嘅深度。Practical skills 其實唔係太誇張，我炒係中撚咗個 trap， 我做咗2年 paper 都冇中過，自己考嗰年就中撚咗 trap， 我屌佢老母！我考完嗰鑊我已經知自己撲街。佔比重最高嘛，17% 我嗰份，炒嗰份我已經知我死梗。
We've already made our first investments and many more in the pipeline to come. But we also have this, desire.
咁啊係，要即係好睇 partner， 但係我嗰邊啲 partner 都好正常，即係大家都係讀書人嚟。咁當然我都係廢 J 最後考唔到大學咧，所以都費事講咁多廢話。
To enable them to have modern technology for their classes, training and talent development. And I've given our team an audacious goal to scale our shuttle
小叮當你個撚樣，
passengers, the number of chips that we're
揾啲好嘢俾你先。
100x. Working with 100x. Did you hear that again? Right, 100x increase in our shuttle. Professors, researchers, students, all of them being trained on the latest EDA tools and having access to shuttles that they can be sending their chips to manufacture on the most leading process technologies in the industry. And I think of this just like when I did my first DRAM design and sent it to Moses for manufacturing. 40 years ago, but we want to build that talent pipeline for the future. And we're going to work with these institutions to radically increase the semiconductor talent flow of tomorrow. This is our commitment to the future of the semiconductor industry. Switching gears, another passion of mine has been in this area of graphics and accelerated computing. And we've been delivering integrated graphics for decades. But we've also known for decades that high-density computing, high-performance vector, matrix, the highest bandwidth requires a different solution as well. And, this area of HPC has ushered into AI, machine learning, and core graphics technologies like ray tracing. And personally, I've been on this journey for 16 years. When I left Intel 12 years ago, it was the only major not done on my list of things that I wanted to finish. Well, I'm back, and we're now going to get it done. And with that, I'm delighted to announce our GPUs. We got
佢仲叫我到呢加3蚊喎，坐喺度。
And the first GPU is our Intel Data Center GPU Flex. And this product, pixels are growing exponentially. for a range of workloads, visual cloud tasks, media transcode, cloud gaming, inference.
喂，可唔可以講翻啲大家想知嘅嘢啊，大佬
Industry's first hardware
？Data center GPU 關我叉事咩？
data center GPU delivering more than 30%
星星神仙三錢啫咩啊？
or more streams per platform. However, it's monetized by the cloud provider. Open and full
喂
stack
唔 get 喎
API access, and today Flex Series is supporting one API, of course, but enabling frameworks like TensorFlow, OpenVINO, and PyTorch.
所以點解定咗個出街日期係12:20係有啲原因，我哋可以繼續鳩噏一陣先。
Of big AI and data centers, high performance computing.
好耶！你笑我喺現場，我仲唔笑到撲街。
Flagship high performance GPU that uses our most advanced IP, really setting the pace for our most advanced packaging technologies, petaflops of performance. And together, Ponte Vecchio, along with our Sapphire Rapids HBM, our 4th generation Xeon, right, is the computing brains behind the Aurora supercomputer. And together we're delivering these blades right now to Argonne National Labs to build the world's highest performance supercomputer.
仆街，邊個撚樣喺度拍手拍撚到？
Without talking about gaming. And for a long time, we've been seeing that the average price of GPUs is right in this, $200-300 range. But what's happened the last few years? They've just gotten super expensive, and we don't think they need to. Today, we're about to fix that. And we are, with gamers, delivering and hearing the complaints of high prices. So you should be frustrated because you are losing out as the gaming community.
我 losing time 你聽你噏廢話就 fuck you！ 哎呀，你冇同我講你 Intel 真係好勁喎，但係好陣間唔勁就碌柒㗎咯喎，呃 A770 喎。好 A770 呢張嘢有幾咁勁咧？有 RGB、ARGB 要插8+6。Tomb Raider 有780 frame，XESS 咗就咁樣。呢只係 Ghostwire， 有 Ray Tracing 啦，咁佢都有啲 feel 嘅。呢隻姐姐好似有玩。屌你老母！
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm powering mine up, hopefully this next weekend. And it'll be available October 12th.
October 12喎，10月12喎，同4090同日出啊！我屌你啊！329同4090同日出喎，屌你都低能
And you're all here at Innovation because you share my passion. The shared passion to continue to innovate.
喂，嗱我咁講，我即係笑下佢算啦，同4090同日出呢壇嘢就咁，但係你有乜嘢品牌幫你出卡先？有邊間係會有出先？咁我覺得呢個都要講多少少係嘛？上次講 A 嗰張咩啊？飛機嗰隻 A380都起碼你有啲品牌有立牌名講下有邊幾間合作幫你出啊？咁雖然都預計係嗰啲㗎啦，咁但係有冇邊幾間係講明係首發出到10月12號就已經有先？同埋都勁嘅 A770嘅性能係並沒有任何嘅流出㗎嘛，好似係。
To harness technology as a force for good. Ria Cherevu, right, graduated high school at 11, started working at Intel as an intern at 14, the same year she received her undergraduate degree from Harvard. She's a whopping 18 years old today.
嗱，唔準你哋話人哋肥婆啊！唔準啦，唔準話人哋肥婆。
And you can imagine on stage, I am now the underachiever. Please join me in welcoming Ria to stage.
搞咁撚多飛機嘥我時間就係睇下肥婆出嚟講嘢，咁點解你唔早少少出嚟啊？20分鐘而家咪講得啦，搞掂，黐撚線嘅，仆街唔撚俾我瞓覺。Z790 Hero 咧係同廢 EX670 E Hero 同價， 係同價。咁跟住一樣係會有 EFAI 啦 ，Strix 嘅話都係4款啦。Tough 就係一樣又係 Plus 啦，WiFi 唔 WiFi，但 Tough 都係 DDR4 嘅。咁同上代一樣啦，都係得 A 版咧係 support DDR4，其他都係 DDR5 嚟嘅。咁然後就係 Prime 嗰堆啦 ，Prime 都係有分翻開有 A 啦，有 P 啦咁樣。Prime 嘅 A 都係一樣，仍然係 DDR5。咁我相信其實規格上冇乜太大改變㗎啦。咁但係價錢上就會有去翻原本嘅 SRP 咁樣咯。並沒有 Strix G。Strix 嘅 G 就冇啦。我見佢唔講，我講啊，佢話解禁㗎啦嘛 ，pre-order。咁你 pre-order 要有價錢㗎嘛，即係講得㗎啦，屌都唔講價，好嘥時間。黐撚線。咁塊Z790E 嘅話咧，4499，F 啊3799，跟住塊 I 啊4299，A 嘅 D4 就係3499。即係又係去翻之前嗰啲價錢，咁但係其實 to be fair， 你 compare 翻 X670E 嗰堆高階版同Z790嗰堆嘅版嘅賣街價咧係好相近嘅，兩者好相近嘅。即係所以頭先我同大編個電話裏面我就話其實依家個處境就會回歸翻到去底版嘅 cost factor。係相對細咗，而 CPU 嘅性價比就好取決，即係會好 lift 咗個用家揀咩揀咩平台去砌嘅。你版以前都仲可能話 AMD 版 U 都一齊好平，咁但係而家其實會變咗做大家底版一樣嘅時間，下邊嗰堆點樣走盞咧？咁或者你 CPU 嗰度個強弱爭幾多咧？先至係user 想知或者點樣去睇到感受到個性價比嘅位置咯。咁然後問題係啦，CPU 嗰部分而家我覺得爭埋13代咯，叫做爭埋13代嘅價錢咯。咁但係佢無限加 E-core 落去嘅話，我哋好難再用核心嘅數量去定義 I5 啊、I7、I9 咁樣。數量上就一定係超越呢個AMD 嗰部分㗎。咁始終一個係玩 chip 咧，一個係乜嘢？嚇
？And one of the great debates over the history of technology has been this open versus closed, proprietary, protected gardens versus the open marketplace. And since the days of Grove and Gates and Jobs, this, has been pervading the industry. And we believe that this idea of the persistent, expensive, closed environments, we are the champion of that open marketplace, and we are back. So John from our demo team is here to help us talk a little bit more about this challenge.
All right, awesome. Great to meet you, John.
Thanks, Pat and Maria. So the challenge is really speeding up development cycles, and I have a tool that I think can help us with that. The Neural Coder, which is a new feature of the Intel Neural Compressor, is a one-click, no-code solution that removes hard-coded CUDA references from our deep learning scripts. It optimizes those scripts for performance, and it benchmarks those optimizations for the best possible deployment option. Let's take a look at how easy this really is. So on the screen, you can see we have an image classification workload running. We're going about 300 frames per second with that. Rhea, you want to try the Neural Coder and see what kind of impact it can have?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So all I need to do here is go ahead and click the run button and confirm, and is it that simple?
So that was pretty simple, right? Let's take a look at the Neural Coder output. So the Neural Coder
我冇睇到佢對住做啲咩啊
our deep learning model from FP32 to Int8. And it's really leveraging the Xeon scalable processor with Intel advanced.
喂呀！呢啲關我鳩事咩？屌！我要瞓覺㗎！你班鬼佬！
We're now running at about 3,000 frames per second, which is a 10.8x speed up, really leveraging that built-in acceleration with the Xeon scalable processors.
That's looking good, John.
Perfect. So I'm wondering here then, with this type of one-click optimization, everything's good to go and all easy to use.
Yeah, so So maybe we can start talking about security now?
All right.
Well, one of the things is that, security, right, enables the, ability for us, right, to protect our models, to protect our data. And with that, how can we make sure all this model work that we do is actually useful and the data protected around it? So can you solve that problem for us, John?
Yeah, let's take a look at this over here. Let's make security a little bit more simple. So confidential computing with Intel SGX protects your data in use. And here we've downloaded a curated container, and we're going to leverage the Grameen Library OS project, which with a simple script and answering a few prompts, you can protect your data in use. So you want to give this one a shot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is another one of those one clicks. Gonna go ahead and click here and cycle through these defaults.
Answer a few prompts here.
咪 Sam 科係尷尬嘅，的確。
Says it's being created.
Awesome. So all this
即係以上一代嘅 IPC 升幅19%對比今代得13% 嚟講，個進步幅度係細嘅。但係喺一個改朝換代嘅時間。
So, very good. It's great to see that we're starting
仲有10%
算啦 open source community to take advantage of these confidential computing capabilities. And, we're working to enable a holistic view of confidential computing.
MSID Motherboard 都唔係全部有5.0×16加 M.2 5.0×4 670E 嘅話就應該係要嘅，好似係670就唔使咯 ，Either one 咯。
As part of our Intel 4th Gen Xeon to accelerate, right, on the CPU.
我唔想知啲屎眼點樣，我想知啲 core 點樣。啲屎眼點樣唔係好使講我聽啊，其實。
With TDX, our trusted domain extension, which will additionally provide secure enclave at the VM level without requiring application change. So this helps everyone to have more trust in their AI and in their data. So, Ria, I think we've covered, and we can call this one complete in our challenge. Okay. So.
哇！數碼正好多，阿平，有人同你爭女啊！
So we saw that we can do them faster, but how do we make them more relevant to the marketplace? These AI models that we're doing, and advanced. Without requiring an advanced degree in AI modeling. Do you think we can do that?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
So for this demo, we're going to come over here to this side, and joining us on stage is Yon.
我想問係咪整蠱我㗎？咩發佈會？
Thank you.
So, today we're going to talk about AI model development.
唔使啊，唔想知啊！
Even then, only a fraction of the models make it to production. Why is that? There are several reasons, but the main reason we see is that domain experts are left out of the loop. So, when we hand the model over to them, it may have drifted, making it unusable.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen these issues all the time. Accuracy drift, poor inferencing quality, and then there's also problems with the outputs of AI systems. And I'd also like to see a lot more collaboration between domain experts and data scientists, really drive those collaborations, get to higher quality models faster. So you have a solution here?
I have good news for you.
Okay.
Intel has built an intuitive computer vision platform that enables anyone on enterprise teams to collaborate and build models very efficiently. Let me show you an example. This is the image of a coffee plant, which is behind the $400 billion industry.
Well, coffee's pretty important to me, right? Enough coffee, all things are possible, Jan.
Yes, and we say developers turn caffeine into code, so...
we want
to help those coffee farmers to use AI to build models that can predict the maturity of the crop. This way they can maximize the yield.
哇！呢度有啲英文難聽到。
How you can build a computer vision model to do that. So we have this project here, and I have already uploaded some images. So let's go and open it.
Right. So a question here. I can only see a couple of images, but in a typical computer vision workflow, we'd probably need tens of thousands of images for this step.
但係肥婆英文講得好快，好好聽。
With this software, we are using a technology called active learning to drastically reduce the amount of training data that the system needs to train. So, let's go ahead and open this image here. And I will select one of our annotation tools, and I will draw
DDR5 only 嚟講咧，就咧我個人啊，其實覺得唔係太過點講啊，即係喺個成本嗰部分當然嘅數字係多咗啦，但係唔係一個 unacceptable 嘅 price。所以你話 Intel 12或者13有得揀都好，其實係咪仲適合投資落去買好高容量、高速嘅 DDR4 咧？即係基本上你呢2年係冇聽到我講3600打上嘅 RAM 㗎，好老實講。即係3600，我諗法係3200啊、3600呢啲 DDR4 啦。喂，早唞 Eric， 即係你要去揾嚟緊嘅 model 差唔多 spec 嘅，我諗都唔難。但係4000打上嗰啲，好難揾 model 啱用。即係我覺得呢個就係我比較concern 嗰個位咯。你好難再投資喺高性能嘅記憶體度啦，或者你買大容量嘅下一個 platform 你已經用唔到啦。咁其實你可以預示14代 Intel 都好，我唔覺得佢仲會支援 DDR4。咁所以硬講得保守都好，我諗你玩多2年啦 DDR4， 即係喺個生命週期上 around 2年左右。真係要完全退出喺新嘅科技嗰部分㗎啦，其實即係 AMD 只不過係提早將呢件事淘汰，然後可以將堆嘢簡化啫嘛。我唔認為嗱，我估啊，唔好話唔認為，我唔知14代應該唔 support DDR4 啩。即係我覺得唔需要仲要保留 DDR4 嘅支援咯，我覺得。即係睇佢個款14代都唔係用緊，再唔係用而家嘅 socket 㗎啦。ROG Z790 Maximus Total 有Extreme 啦、Hero 啦、Apex， 睇多次有冇箭先，已經個腦炒車。3款咯，仲有 Apex 咯。官網暫時得2張，好俾面㗎啦。13代 E-Core 多過 P-Core， 對打機嚟講唔太好，唔關事㗎。你行 Windows 11嗰陣，佢知你打機嗰個 scheduler 會抌翻你打機嗰堆嘢俾翻 P-Core 計㗎。咁你 E-Core 係用嚟睇 YouTube 啊、上網咁樣嘅啫嘛。Suppose 個邏輯係，咁當然佢係唔係又另一件事啦。我就係想識柒咗佢啦。你解釋 AI 俾我把撚咩？你唔 show 粒電子點撚樣行，大佬？我好撚眼瞓啊，大佬。
To always serve the freshest food and to never stock out. All of this is running on the edge in the restaurant on small form factor edge devices like that one. We chose OpenVINO because other companies' inference-only edge solutions always just focused on the inference and neglected the CPU-intensive workloads that we need to run in the background, like databases.
Okay, that sounds great. So one of the first problems, though, that I'm encountering, and I'm thinking about that you may have experienced as well, is, how do you know how much compute you need and whether or not to use the Intel CPU?
哇，好撚勁喎！阿肥妹啲英文，佢講完我個腦要諗啊，要時間 process 翻佢嗰句出嚟喎。阿男人講嗰啲，兩位男士講嘅嘢，我冇呢個問題喎。
Then it's actually the auto-optimization plugin in OpenVINO that makes the decision whether to run our model on the CPU or on the integrated GPU. And the best part is, with each generational upgrade, our customers get so much more performance out of one edge device. The generational jump from Gen 11 to Gen 12 took us one afternoon, and it resulted in 30% more frames per second for our application.
Well, hold that thought. I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Oh yeah.
So essentially, OpenVino
唔係啊，直線嚟㗎。阿肥妹講啲英文好勁，好舒服。雖然快，但係係聽得到嘅英文嚟。
Absolutely. Let's see it in action. In the restaurant, we have those Intel RealSense cameras mounted above the make lines, seeing the food in real time all the time. And we use the OpenVino to detect the corner of each of those pans for a dynamic region of interest. Then we use OpenVino to classify the ingredients to know what we're looking at, and we use the stereo sensing from the RealSense to tell us how much we're looking at.
Right, so that's a lot of models that are in, like, part of a workflow. So how is OpenVino helping you here with like this much compute?
We're running multiple applications on just very few of these edge devices in the restaurant, from what to cook when, to digital prep, to freshness monitoring, and order accuracy verification. For that, we need tracking performance. And careful quantization at OpenVino gave us a speed up of 2x. We're now running live inference from 2 vision streams on just one edge device.
All right, so your performance engineer has a question for your temporary performance engineer. If we switch around those pans, how are the depth sensors going to react?
Let's do it.
Challenge.
If I take out one pan,
all right,
and shuffle them around a bit, we can see that the AI is
轉咗咯，佢知道邊一樣嘢打邊樣嘢，好勁啊
！This delicious salsa, dig in, dig in.
I like salsa.
The inventory depleting, and the crew is being asked to replenish so that the restaurant.
有啲諗法嘅，咁關我哋咩事？係咯。喂，快啲加嘢啦 ，fill 嘢啦，冇晒啦，冇貨啦。
Don't take my word for it. Hear it from Chipotle.
Let's hear it now.
Hey Pat, hey Ria, and everybody at Intel Innovation. By utilizing Intel technology in our innovation center and test markets, we've seen a real improvement in operational efficiency. The combination of the full Intel architecture and OpenVino software has alleviated manual tasks for our crew and given managers the tools they need to make informed, in-the-moment decisions. By deploying Intel's RealSense and OpenVino technology, we created a powerful and versatile AI solution that addresses our unique needs while connecting the entire infrastructure of the kitchen. We're excited with the results we've seen in our test market and are aiming to fully deploy Intel technologies across Chipotle restaurants in a large market in the coming months. I'd like to thank you all, the true creators and innovators in this space, and hope you have a great show.
好撚有用啊！仆街，黐撚線。
Thank you to Kurt. My family loves Chipotle, and now it will even have Intel.
好撚嬲！我覺得我俾人呃咗半個鐘，8個字，俾人呃咗8個字。
All right.
又點啊？
So let's move to our next challenge, if you would.
喂，唔好啦，大佬，再係咁我揾阿 van 仔玩天拿水抽人魚㗎
So
啦。
modern games are complex. They have interactivity, lifelike graphics, complex characters, story development, immersive experience. These are big, expensive development and production operations to bring them to market. This is a lot of work to get done. And to talk about that, I've invited on stage today a world-class game developer, Inflection Games, right, who's striving to bring a realistic, immersive gaming environments onto the PC. Please help me in welcoming Sarah Mainwaring to the stage. Sarah?
Hi, Ria. Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm from Inflection Games, and we are creating Nightingale, which is an online multiplayer spiral crafting game. And when we're working with a multiplayer game that's online, we get networking bugs. And these can really tie up our development schedules when we try and debug them. And whilst...
我執定嘢先。
Sometimes we don't have the shortcuts. So when we are doing our debugging for these issues, we are connecting multiple clients on a single machine in the editor, usually with a test level. And so here's the test level I wanted to show you today.
Oh, that's beautiful. Looks immersive. Am I hearing birds?
There's a little bit of birds coming out, yeah. And so this isn't the usual test level that I would use to debug anything. And this is a real Nightingale player level running in Unreal Engine 5 on this rig. And usually we would be working in a Tesla that's very small, contained, very empty, so that we can really drill down to what the problem is. But sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes there is a bug or an issue which only shows up in player-facing levels. And then we run into problems because we have to run these very high-fidelity, dense levels directly on our work machines on a game which is only optimized to run one client on one machine at any moment in time without the editor even attached. Absolutely. And so you can see that we've got some pretty good performance going on here. It's really nice and smooth. It's looking real beautiful. And on my workstation, back at work, this would be what we would be getting in the editor. But we wouldn't be able to connect more than one, maybe two clients before the frame rate just drops off. But on this wonderful workspace, we've not only got one going, excuse me, give it a little punch there. Oh, no. Sorry, my keyboard is not working.
Oh my god, your keyboard is rubbish.
Let's see what I can do.
Just skip your part and show us Z790. Fuck you.
Unfortunately, so I can't tab to. Oh. Okay, so we're switching over to some backup images, but we'll see. So we switched over to some images here.
It's real.
It's real, yeah. It's
Right.
development.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we found the bug.
Okay, good.
But what you can see here is that
There we go.
we are running 4 of these instances all at the same time with the same frame rate. And it performs wonderfully. And actually in back, when I had a bit of downtime, I tried 8. And I was able to run 8 of our games.
Intel 自己玩到佢卡關，我卡關到冇過分。
at any one time. And yeah, just really impressive tech.
Absolutely. I think peripherals aside, this is exactly what we're starting to get into. Game development is just going to get better and better. And Sarah, to your point, to highlight a cool feature here, I think hybrid architecture is definitely what developers can use here to make their lives much more easier. You can hide the windows that you don't really need so that your OS and your different platforms and applications are able to take advantage of what they do need in the front view and hide or put away the stuff that you don't. But
Yeah.
it's a beautiful test environment and it's a beautiful use case.
And being able to connect 4, 8, however many we try to do clients at the same time just speeds up our ability to debug and get to these nitty-gritty problems that are only showing up for our players. So it's a big deal for us to use Intel's technology for this.
Absolutely, and definitely as part of that hybrid architecture, performance and efficient cores or PME cores, that's definitely going to come in handy for these types of tasks.
Yeah, and this is in editor, and we've prepared a little bit of footage to see what Intel technology is giving Nightingale outside of the editor. Can we run the footage?
Let's see it.
We're going to roll it.
係咪英文？係咪啲女人講英文係特別啲嘅？ 哇！呢鑊嘢真係屌你個嘴，點解係人頭樣但個嘴喺下邊另嗰個 part？ 屌你老母！
That's epic. I caught Pat having a jump scare, but I am so excited to be able to play that.
I don't feel exciting.
Get to try it soon, hopefully.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. This was awesome.
Thank you, Sarah, for joining us.
770可以點睇啫？講真。
accomplishment with the game coming out, and can't wait because I know end users love it.
CEO
Our
嘅性能
platforms
可唔
want
可以
to
同
consume it and deliver it,
3060
and we're committed to
打
making all
咗
this
先
for
咯，
you. Thank
唔
you
得
so
嘅
much,
就
Sarah.
講經咯。
Thank you, Ria.
Thank you.
And as you just saw, the future of gaming and creative, immersive experiences like that relies on performant CPUs and GPUs. And with that, today I am thrilled to reveal the 13th Gen Intel Core desktop
嘥咗成晚時間，個鳩幾鐘先攞粒 U 出嚟，屌你老母！
Formerly known as Raptor Lake, the flagship i9 13900K is coming next month. This is the fastest, best desktop processor ever built in history. And it takes advantage of our hybrid architecture, both E and P cores. You know, we've enhanced the P core so it has the best single-threaded performance ever, more L2 and L3 cache. We've also increased the number
up to 24%, up to 24 performance and efficiency cores, 15% better single-thread performance gain, 41% multi-threading 唔知乜鬼。
It has blazing clock speeds of up to 5.8 gigahertz.
5.8 gig喎。
13900K is the best gaming, streaming, and recording experience ever.
Thank you. 好，今次終於出翻個盒係易擺啲，同埋冇咁嘥位啦，犀利。
No mistake, it's the best CPU, but it's also the best platform. And our core processors deliver on the platform value proposition, state-of-the-art wireless, connectivity, advances in memory technology. As always, we are building and leading open platforms with and for the industry. And whether you're a beginner or expert, the Intel 13th Gen Core delivers the world's best overclocking experience as well. And early next year, we'll release a SKU that for the first time ever hits 6 gigahertz out of the box in limited volumes. An industry first, a huge milestone for client computing. And I remember, like it was yesterday when we first crossed 1 gigahertz. Man, you all are blowing me away. 6 gigahertz, what a milestone. Congratulations to our team. But of course, we're not stopping with the K SKU. We're going to give you the full range of PC segments, including mobile. And we expect
唔係我咁講，300W都唔係淨係佢一個300W嘅，即係我哋成日講 AMD 講到好慳電，咁你俾粒795X 我哋 tune 好晒之後，咪又係300。
I'm back, and I think we should definitely get Hawk at that version.
Yes, I think so. Our game is definitely going to take advantage of this. And given the sheer power and unique hybrid architecture that comes with the 13th Gen processors, I think we can say with confidence the gaming challenge is complete.
All right. Thank you.
冇嘥我時間啊！屌你老母！
So let's move into our fourth challenge, and this one's for content creators that need a creative boost.
All right, let's do it.
So I think we need to commemorate our time together today, Rhea. And with that, why don't we do a movie poster?
Okay.
Right? Pat and Rhea's greatest hits kind of poster. And have you ever seen any of the text-to-image creative platforms?
No.
I've definitely seen it. I couldn't even say you're asking the master. I have tried so many different stable diffusion models. It's constantly growing, but it's definitely something that only advanced deep learning enthusiasts can get their hands on. Very hard for content creators to be able to use that technology right away.
Okay, well, AI is unleashing this wide array of new opportunities for the creative process. And John is back on stage to show us some amazing technologies from Habana Labs using Gaudi 2. And maybe we can help create our movie poster, John?
Let's do it. So you mentioned text-to-image conversion, and we're running a latent diffusion model on our Gaudi 2 deep learning accelerator. Pat, Rhea, you want to start the creative process?
Well, how about movie poster?
All right.
喂，其實跑翻 R20啊、R23咁樣我 OK 㗎啦，其實。
Stakes are high.
So the Gaudi 2 is generating 16.
你跑翻 Super Pi 俾我都 OK 㗎，其實。
Fantastic.
Okay, well, can we go a little bit further? What do you think, Rhea?
Absolutely. Let's do superhero
Okay.
poster on the fly. Gonna type this out here. Let's see.
Okay, that looks better. Okay.
All right.
So, what do you think? Should we take it a little further?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do something a little bit more cool.
So maybe, male and female superhero movie?
Yep, absolutely. In the style of Art Deco. And that's going to give us a couple of cool images that the model is trying to generate.
pretty much real time.
All right. I think we're looking pretty good here, John. What do you think, Ria?
I think it's great. The speed is
做緊咩咪
phenomenal. It's giving me a lot of
就係
inspiration
打一句
for
嘢俾
different
AI 叫佢
ideas.
幫手揾呢啲
Definitely some
嘅圖
improvements,
出嚟咯。
and yeah, I think it looks great to me, John. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see designers use this and speed their creativity.
Absolutely.
And John, I think what
佢
we've seen
做緊呢一啲嘅嘢，平時大家用 Google 圖片咪做得到咯，搞咁撚多飛機把撚咩？
And here I have the Gaudi 2 accelerator. This product comfortably outperforms the
Oh wait,
A100
13代講完㗎啦。
BERT models, the June publication this year of the MLPerf benchmarks. And this model we're running is latent diffusion on PyTorch. So what do you think, Ria?
Absolutely. Those words, the machine learning models, they bring joy. So I think this is fun. We're definitely done with this challenge.
I don't feel this is fun, okay?
Okay, this challenge complete.
Oh great！ 佢話 challenge complete 喎。咁13代同Z790咧
It's a great challenge, but I'm also encountering a little bit of a difficulty pad. So something that I really struggle with is you need a lot of devices in order to.
哇！原來蘇媽個 PowerPoint 已經係最撚好睇喎。
Train your deep learning models, and those devices don't even talk to each other. So.
即係老王嗰個係唔小心俾佢呃咗1個鐘，佢呢個係強制呃咗1個鐘喎。喂，又話完嘅？
And with Centrino integrated Wi-Fi,
我真係屌你老母呃人
and 2-in-1s and convertibles. We've just been driving these unique experiences throughout our history. So we start with people. What do they want? And design solutions for them.
Okay, perfect. So here's what I want. Maybe there's a solution out there for me. I need a solution to having to lug around my very large monitor all the time.
Okay, so making it a lot easier. And I was in Korea a little while ago, and when I was there with our partner Samsung, they showed me a technology that I think might just solve that problem. And I'm delighted to welcome the CEO.
聽日先講，我聽日唔講啦，我聽晚踢波大佬，阻住。喂，又點樣啊？又揾多個人出嚟嘥時間。13代冇 I3，嗰陣時傳聞咧就話13代嘅13代嘅 I5 136K 對落嘅 model 就會係一啲新版本嘅12代咯，就唔係新架構咯。即係夾硬塞咗啲 E-core 落去，但係唔係新嘢咯。哦，呢個有啲諗法，但係我都覺得有啲悶。搞咁撚多飛機蚊隻 mon 出嚟，我屌你老母，搞乜撚嘢啊！
All right, I want to try. Phenomenal.
I'm sure this shows one of the great examples of future trend of PCs. It's because I'm here today to demonstrate this demo. It's very important for Samsung Display to collaborate between ecosystem developers in hardware and software together to achieve this kind of innovative form factor PCs for best user scenarios. So let me have this one. So today we announced world first 17-inch slidable display for PC globally for the first time.
Thank you.
Samsung 啪啪啪，人血啪啪啪。
This device will satisfy Ria's need for large screen and also its portability as well. With flexible display, we implemented sliding technology rather than foldable. Foldable is gone, but it's just beginning, right?
接埋嗰啲係完㗎啦，依家玩拉出嚟嘅。
And software collaborations. We expect to see better and best user scenarios of PC near future.
即係我哋可以16:9拉到21:9，再拉到32:9咁樣樣嘅。
Of OLED technologies, as many decades of partnership. This just convinces me we got a lot more coming between us. Thank you for joining.
Thank you，拜拜。係咪收皮啦？
Assuming I can keep it.
And again, continuing new form factors. We create new SDKs to enable those and find new experiences for our customers and community. And speaking of which, earlier this year at the CES show, we announced our acquisition of Screenovate. And this is, now coming forward as Intel Unison. And to show an example of Intel Unison, please join our demo geek Craig coming to stage. Craig?
Hello, Ria. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
So, I'm here to show you off some amazing things that we're going to be doing with Unison.
Okay.
But for the first item, might as well pair some of this amazing software that we have in Unison. Ooh, some of this amazing hardware from Samsung Display. Okay, beautiful. But really, what we're saying with Unison and the promise of Unison is to bring all of our devices together, regardless of ecosystem or how they move and how they interact, all of our smart devices, again, really working for us in the way that we want to. And just like you said, Pat, with Intel, we're trying to solve the world's largest problems. Well, Pat and Ria, I have a lot of problems. So not those type of problems. Device problems. So similar, so something like this, I have my great little Evo PC here, and with just a quick, nice little tap, I'm going to go ahead and send it on over to my display. Oh, let's see here. And here we go. Ooh, and I've extended my display to this nice little 13 to 17-inch device, which helps me with a lot of my problems. I like
好撚有用喎呢個功能，做乜春啊？我屌你啊 ！Chromecast 唔得㗎，做乜撚嘢啊
？And then turn it into a 17-inch monitor. No back problems, no TSA.
So you're telling me that could I connect like my iPhone to the device or?
Ria, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
All right.
All of your devices. That includes iOS and Android device like this, all working together for the first time with our Windows PC. So, Ria, your iPhone will be singing and dancing and playing with your Windows PC. Never lose focus. Get all of your notifications, all of your emails, all of your texts.
做乜春 ？Apple TV 嗰陣我已經玩緊。Android、Google 話 Chromecast 我已經玩咗好撚多年，你而家同我講呢啲？ 哇！真係 thank you for your information 喎。
Promoting this open ecosystem approach, solving Ria's problem, right? But also enabling the iPhone for the first time, interacting seamlessly with the PC, all our iOS, Android devices, and coming with new laptops this holiday season from our partners at Acer, HP, and Lenovo. And this is just the beginning of what we're going to be enabling with Intel Unison. So, what do you think, Ria?
Absolutely. It's astonishing technology. You didn't say no when I asked if I could keep it, so I'm making some assumptions. But I would say that this challenge is complete.
All right.
Thank you.
And our final challenge of the morning.
Oh, final 咯喎 ，last。
Sometimes the biggest challenges we face
即係我哋又中伏啦。 13代完咗啦，講完㗎啦，我睇唔到佢講啲乜就已經完咗啦。都未睇完佢後邊嗰啲嘢，一張 slide 完咗喎。
Our vision is to fully
咁早出，
our
人哋未講完。
with optical capabilities, such that our processors today, a piece of silicon, a piece of optics fiber going directly into that. The result of that will be much higher bandwidth, much higher communications capabilities at dramatically lower costs. Today, optics is a niche technology. Tomorrow, it's the mainstream of every chip that we build.
Woo! From electrons to photons.
That was a video of me 2 decades ago predicting this
2
moment.
decades ago.
And that was the year I was born. So.
Oh, Ria. You are killing me. You are killing me. And sometimes innovation takes a little bit longer than we want. Sometimes a decade to make a week of progress, sometimes a week to make a decade of progress.
Absolutely. I love that quote. And I understand it takes a lot of hard work and talent to make these ideas into reality.
Yeah, and at Intel, we invest for the long term. We know that optics, this dramatic amount of bandwidth, moving from photons to electrons, crossing the optical electrical boundary, this was hard. And bringing light and bandwidth and low power right up to the package. and then scaling it for the industry to participate in it. So here we are, and we can now show this breakthrough. Our engineering team has done it, and they've built a detachable optical in-package connector coming directly into a glass substrate. Let's go live to our lab in Scotland and take a look to show it for the very first time. Russell?
Hi, Pat. Hi, Ria.
哇！屌你唔撚知為一個 COVID-19 嘅實驗室啊，大佬，做乜鳩啊？
Yeah, thanks, everybody. So what we have behind us is a test and measurement system where we're going to test that detachable connector. So we have on the left-hand side a power meter. So what you're going to see is the power should flick up to the right-hand side. You'll see the needle in the power meter. On the right-hand side, the signal will go from red to green as we make the connection directly to the package with our detachable connector. So what you can see here with John, we have the demo unit here. We have a silicon photonic package. We have optical fiber that runs up through the connector. It's a very small form factor detachable connector. And we're going to measure the light that comes in and out of the silicon photonics chip with this setup, okay? So, first time we've done this live, obviously, so John's going to make the connection now. Keep an eye on the screen. You'll be able to see the numbers as we make the connection. So here we go. So we got power coming into directly the silicon photonic package. The green signal, that means we're measuring light all the way through the package. But we have to show that it's also detachable. So we're going to detach it, reattach it again, and we'll be able to show that here now live. Okay, John. So there we go, we detached it, signal's dropped off, reattaching it, and now the signal's jumping back up again. Okay? So great result, everybody.
Hey, Russell and team, thank you so much. This is exactly how I dreamed of it decades ago, and you guys are now delivering it. Thank you. Congratulations to our team in Scotland.
Thank you. Can't believe I get to be part of this history-making moment.
Indeed, indeed. So, Ria, thank you for joining me on this journey. In 30 years, when you're on stage as the CEO, remember to continue to pass on the shared passion that we have for the world of technology and the enormous positive tech for good impact that it can have.
Oh, absolutely, Pat. And I think on behalf of developers everywhere, we're ready to get these technologies running, working for our workflows, optimized, accelerated, and changing the world.
So maybe a memento for you. Let's sign our poster here that we did.
Okay.
Grab your pen there, and you and I are going to sign it, and we're going to send you off here, right? This first superhero moment, right?
Gonna add a smiley.
All right. There we go. Let's say thank you to Ria for joining us.
Thank you all.
咁13代完㗎啦係嘛？喂，你仲有嘢講嘅？
Our time together this morning, we've talked about our commitment to being open, systems and software and hardware standards, and our collective potential as an industry is unleashed when we enable openness, choice, and trust. So to close out, I want to bring on stage a special guest, someone that I have personally admired for decades. A no bigger champion of open collaborative ecosystems, the godfather of the open source movement, the creator of Linux kernel and of Git. Please join me in welcoming none other than Linus Torvalds. Linus, it is so great to have you at Intel.
It's not great.
We've both been
around.
And you remember this?
I do remember that. I lost my own copy a few years ago, apparently.
Well, today we are fixing that. I've signed this for you here.
Thanks.
And when I wrote this book, it was the Bible for the 8386, and this was really your beginning.
Literally, this was the thing I used on the project that wasn't Linux yet. Before I actually started doing an operating system, I was really just trying to learn about the new PC I'd bought. and this was the CPU side of that journey, right? And it took a while to learn the CPU and realize that what I'm actually writing is an operating system. So this, in a sense, predates my Linux work, but was very integral to it.
Yeah, and maybe you could just take us back to 1991 when you were first getting started on the project, and tell us a little bit about that.
So it's hard to even think back now because it was different for me. I came from a home PC kind of background and did not know the x86 architecture at all, but decided that this was the way into it, and bought my first 386 and couldn't afford the commercial Unixes I wanted. And
so you were cheap.
I was cheap.
Or
no, I prefer the word poor.
Poor. Okay.
And I'd grown up with computers since I was about 11, and was used to just writing my own projects. So the fact that I could not afford Unix myself, and I had this shiny new PC, and I had been exploring the CPU side of it, and because the 386 has the task switching hardware built in, it had been one of the things I'd been exploring. And when you do task switching and do all the low-level grotty paging details that this book literally goes through and explains, you kind of end up with a project that is the beginning of a kernel.
Yeah, looks like an operating system. Yeah. So here we are today. Tell us, what are the must-dos for a thriving open source ecosystem?
I think the must-do, one thing I really strive for is to make sure that people feel like they are part of, I don't want to say the community. I mean, it is part of the community, but they're part of making decisions, and they really own the end result.
Invested in it.
They're invested in it. And it's obviously why I chose the license I chose, making sure that I don't have any special rights. And I really love open source. I love working in a community where it's about open discussion and really getting things done together. And that's actually surprising to me, even now, because I always, and I still feel that I'm not a people person. But at the same time...
I've heard that criticism of you.
Yeah, no, I'm not the only one who thinks I'm not a people person. But at the same time, it's been what has really motivated me for the last 30 plus years.
So let's go forward, 10, 20 years. What's your vision for open source in the future?
Yeah, no, this is not me. I'm not a visionary. I call myself a plodding engineer.
Plodding engineer.
And I say that with pride. I think you need the people who have the big ideas, but you definitely, in engineering, a lot of it is getting all the small details right and looking at in front of your feet instead of looking 20 years out. So I look a couple of releases ahead, and I kind of have a notion of what's coming, but my horizon is about 6 months away, not 20 years away.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce you to Linus Torvalds, my favorite plodding engineer. Your career, your impact, the industry that you've affected is nothing short of spectacular, Linus. And I mean, you and I, we're not finished yet. We got a lot of time in front of us yet. But we'll be realizing the impact of your contributions for many, many years to come. And it's with that in mind that today we are honored to give you and recognize you in our community as we come here together, right? We would like to say that you are the first recipient of the first ever Intel Innovation Award.
Wow. Lifetime achievement 喎，整一啲咁樣嘅嘢出嚟啊 ！Well,
thank you, Pat. I don't know what to say. That is actually very nice and classy.
In Chinese，我唔知咁樣交好。
We had a water bottle as a stand-in yesterday during the rehearsal.
This was a little nicer,
which wasn't so nice and classy.
And while I was absolutely thrilled to have this conversation with Linus and I this morning, we recorded a long interview yesterday. We'll be posting that on our website. And truly, I couldn't think of a more honoring person for an open community than Linus Torvalds. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you.
You are welcome.
We've had an incredible morning together, but this is just the beginning. We're just getting started. In the next 2 days, labs, demos, show floor, cool, geeky things that we're going to do.
左下角係我最想睇嘅嘢。
Cloud,
兩句。
download our One API toolkit, and engage with us, because our objective here is that developers, whether software or hardware, you see the future, and our job at Intel is to open that future up to you, working together on open frameworks that you can trust. I'm excited we've had the opportunity to come together, to learn, grow, build, challenge, and help each other. And together, we've taken a peek into the future, one that we will create together. Thank you.
You are welcome. 完。仆街。我想聽嘅嘢並沒有因為我想聽而存在咯。
Welcome to our post show, Innovation 2022, live from San Jose.
搞錯啊！
Pat is on his way back to our blue carpet to debrief, so don't go anywhere. We saw a lot of the same themes from his keynote last year, but there was one fresh focus on this new, almost post-pandemic era. Technology is increasingly central to every aspect of human existence. And as we look ahead to the next decade, we will now see continued moves to digital for everything. The way we work, learn, connect, develop, and operate. All right, let's bring Ravi back to get his reaction to this live keynote. Ravi, welcome back. What I thought was so cool was having this live audience there this year.
Yeah,
that was an element we missed last year, being completely virtual with COVID.
Yeah, Madeline, it was amazing. I got to tell you, there were so many things that resonated.
合完啊嘛
One, just the reaction to many of the things that Pat
我
delivered.
連感想都唔想出喎，大佬。
Pat, went after developer challenges, right, in a really, phased approach.
無言到
an
爆
organized
今晚
approach, and then showing how, Intel could, enable solutions. And that pop-up, a comment that he made about his granddaughter, that was really inspiring for me.
Yeah, thank you. When she puts her USB in, that was precious. And a part of this live show element is the audience reactions. And I was really impressed by the excitement we felt when he said that when he talked about the Andy Grove and the speed of innovation and how all of that is still alive and well.
Hey, guess who's standing next to me? Pat, that was amazing. I could feel the excitement in there. You tell me, again, coming back, looking at all the developers, the folks, the reaction. How do you feel after that keynote?
Oh, I feel great.
你梗係 great 啦，大佬，咁撚多人聽你講嘢。
This community that is looking for us to be engaging, to help to create these open technologies for tomorrow. We had some cool demos to show off and some real progress since last year, and just setting up for the second half tomorrow.
Very, very cool demos out there, by the way. Last year you said you were bringing back the geek, right? And as our chief geek, how have the developer community rallied around the things that we're doing, and how have they responded to all of the things that we've been doing over the last 12 months and here recently?
Well, I'd say, at first they're sort of like, are you really back? Right? Waiting to see. And we had a lot of work to do to get the underpinnings in place. We said,
有 live 緊啊！又靠我，我想瞓覺啦喎。
regular releases there. So that's happening now. We said Dev Cloud. Okay, well, that's happening now. And we said we're going to have an open AI stack. Well, we didn't have a lot of pieces in place to make that possible. So now it's all sort of coming together, and they're responding super well. And things like the Dev Cloud, we have a queue of people ready to get on board and start getting access to our latest and greatest.
That's amazing. Hey, I've got to tell you, Madeline and I were just speaking. That comment you made about Pop and your granddaughter, I mean, really amazing, and I hope she's watching. So you had Ria and Linus on stage. What was your inspiration for having both of them there with you front and center this year?
Well, first, to me, it always has been this amazing thing. I mean, Andy sort of reached down and grabbed me when I was a 22-year-old engineer, and I've always had that view of Intel. That, hey, I don't care if you're, 22 or 62, right? The question is, are you a geek and are you going to be able to do some amazing things? And our company just enables that. And having somebody, which is like I say, I'm an underachiever, compared to Ria, what she's accomplishing. And I want to be the place that she can really, fulfill, her full potential as a leader. And when we flip to the other side with Linus, truly is somebody that, I've admired for decades. And if you're going to talk about open, who else could you have that's more representative? And, Linus doesn't do these things very often. He said maybe once or twice a year. So, it's a very unusual thing. And tracing our roots back to the earliest days of the 3D.
真係要諗仲睇唔睇到 live？
That's amazing. I mean, transparency, openness, innovation. Pat, thank you very much. We'll see you later on in the show.
Thank you, Ron.
Yeah. Hey, Madeline, back to you.
How exciting and cool that we had Pat live to debrief. And what a cool concept of Andy Grove reaching to Pat, and now Pat maybe reaching to Ria, maybe our future CEO. Who knows?
Yeah, it's an interesting commentary, definitely.
Awesome. Well, I know you need to get back here for the rest of the show. We'll see you back here in a minute. On to the highlights. The Intel Developer Cloud has expanded to give developers and partners early access to new and future Intel technologies. This gives developers a head start on product pre-qualification, anywhere from a few months to up to a full year before the product is available. The beta trial is now open to pre-qualified Intel customers and developers.
都係瞓覺嗰啲，收皮啦，唔同你玩黐撚線嘅 Intel 呢題，嬲鳩，再見。